Over the last 30 days, we've made 44 grand from one client alone with one simple growth strategy that no one else is talking about. Now, if you're struggling to grow your agency, you need to watch this video and actually act on what I'm about to show you. I'm going to explain to you what this dead simple strategy is, how it's transformed our agency, and how you can start using it immediately after watching this video. But first, who the hell am I and why should you actually trust me in the first place? My name's Liam, hello. For the last 8 years, I've been building and running 4 different businesses online and offline. I've had hundreds of failures in between those, but with these businesses, I have been able to generate almost $7 million online. Now, one of these businesses is our AI and automation agency, Unorthodox, which since launching just under 2 years ago now, has generated us multiple 6 figures. So look, now you know who I am. What is this simple strategy that is making us 40 grand plus every single month? Well, firstly, I want to break this down for you. There are 2 types of agency owners in this world. There are hunters and there are farmers. And you probably sat there going, what are you on about, mate? But bear with me. Now, the hunter wakes up every single morning hungry with one goal in mind: to hunt. Every single day, he has to aggressively go out there and find new prey that he can then catch, kill, and eat. The problem with this is every single day, he has to start new. He has to constantly go out there and continue hunting just to survive. So everything is pretty short-lived and he's always in search for something new. And then we have the farmer. Now, the farmer wakes up calmly every single morning with one goal, and that goal is to nurture and grow his plants and his crops. Really carefully chosen the different seeds that he wants to plant that year, and he wants to make sure that these seeds and these plants that he's growing are consistently yielding him a good amount of food at the end of it, right? He's getting a good harvest. And the thing is, this farmer knows that if he keeps caring for these plants and he keeps caring for these trees and crops, whatever it is, he's got an insane opportunity to grow these into massive trees that end up giving him a ton of fruit and a ton of food that will sustain him for years and years and years to come. So with that in mind, who do you think is going to be more successful over the long term? The hunter or the farmer? Because being the hunter in your agency is great when you're first getting started. And this is actually where you're usually going to end up starting anyway. So don't worry if you are the hunter right now. But the smartest agency owners, they take on the role of the farmer. They don't spend all day long hunting for new clients and new leads. Instead, they plant seeds and they care and maintain them over a longer period of time. And then over time, these seeds grow into trees that then give them fruit, which in the agency world are clients. You know, they're building relationships. Becoming a farmer is going to allow you to have 5 times the amount of clients whilst doing 10 times less work than the hunter. And here's why you need to pay attention. This is literally the secret weapon for anyone looking to take their agency to the big leagues. If you aren't already nurturing existing client relationships to continuously bring you more business and maximize the amount of money you can make with every client, you're doing it wrong. And it's fine, because just like everyone else, we were also doing it wrong. We would pour everything, all of our time into hunting for these new clients every single day, constantly going out there, just trying to win work. But then we start to face a really common problem that most people have when they're trying to build their agency. Hunting actually takes a lot of time and it takes a ton of effort. And then once you finish with a client's project, once you're done and you have to go on to someone else, you have to get back on the horse, go out there and try to find a new one. Obviously, this is just super time consuming, and the returns for us just weren't good enough for the long-term game. That's not where we wanted to be inside of our agency. We really had to find a smart way for us to grow revenue that was actually sustainable without the process of going out there and finding a new client every single time. So what we found by having a lot of conversations with different clients that we have, we would find more and more about their business over time. And a good example of this is one of our existing clients that we were working with, we actually ended up building a really deep relationship with. And they also had deep relationships with other clients that were perfect for what we were actually offering them and building. So we saw that opportunity and we started nurturing and cultivating that existing client. We really put in the work to provide them a ton of value beyond just delivering what our standard scope of work was. And instead, we really tried to establish a strong and trusted partnership. I remember we helped them with so many different things inside of their company. We even helped advise them on how they could be making more money with all of their clients they were working with. And eventually what started to happen was they saw the value in us and actually asked us to support them beyond just what they had hired us in to do in the first place. So we unlocked more work without having to go out there hunting for new clients. I remember it to this day. It was literally mind-blowing when we started to make more money from this one client. And I can imagine now you're probably sat there thinking, okay, This is great, but how the hell do I become a farmer? Well, mate, go get your tractor, go get your tools out, and time to get dirty, son. Terrible joke, but look, I do want to teach you how you can become a farmer and start building relationships just like we have, where we've then gone on to make 40 grand from this one client alone. Becoming a farmer is literally about one thing, and that is building partnerships. The strategy is super simple, but it does take patience and it takes a lot of time. You can't just build a partnership overnight, and you really have to remember that this is a super long-term strategy that should exist on top of being a hunter at the same time when you're first getting started. But if you do play it right, the benefits are huge and the potential is absolutely massive. So look, I want to break it down into 3 simple steps for you. Part 1, we're going to look at this as planting our seeds, right? So we're going to look at all of the current clients that we have. We're going to start identifying the ones where we can potentially offer more services to or more support beyond what we're already giving them already. Let's say we've built a chatbot for a client, but you know that their customer service journey as a whole could still be massively improved. That is the perfect gap for us to step in and upsell work into. We could charge them more money to help with that process, or we could do it for free and just give them a ton more value. This is where we can start to build goodwill within these different relationships. Part 2, we want to, water these seeds. So what we want to do is we want to build this partnership full of trust and full of value. Over time, we really want to look after it. We want to make sure we go above and beyond delivering for this first project for them, because after that, it's just a halo effect. We can really nurture them by continuously learning about their business, getting on calls, getting updated on what's going on, what's working, what's not, finding the problems that they're facing, and then helping them get to the goals on where they want to be. For example, let's say you're having a conversation with your client and you've jumped on a call and you're asking how just general business is going. All of a sudden, they've now come out and said, well, business is going great, but they're getting all these new leads from all the calls that they're bringing in, to the point that the reception now can't keep up with all the phone calls that are coming in. That is the perfect piece of information that you've now uncovered, which is super relevant and applicable to your line of services. So what can you do there for them? This is really where you can start dropping bits of advice and more value, like, hey, I've had many clients face the same issue before, and their solution was creating a virtual agent that then takes calls on their behalf using voice. Have you considered anything like this? This is a great way for you to get in the door and sell more services to this one client or provide more value. Part 3, we want to harvest the client. And this sounds kind of weird, but not like that. You know what I mean? You basically at this point dropped all the additional value and advice that you could give this client, and they've now bit, they're interested. So now, Mr. Farmer, they're now interested in your work. You've now done your job and you've built yourself a fruit tree that could continue to deliver, providing you look after it. Now, what can you do once they're interested? Well, you could be really direct, offer to schedule in a call, take them through additional services, show them how it works, see if it's a good fit for them. You could even present them with some kind of proposal that maybe you've been building up over the last few months. Because they've already worked with you before and you've already shown them a ton of value, they're going to be way more receptive to just signing new work on with you. And from there, you just keep planting more seeds, nurturing them and building them up into trees that can then be harvested every single year or hopefully month. And guys, this is literally what all of the biggest agencies in the world are doing. And I'm not talking biggest agencies as in 100K, 200K per month, because that is a small agency. If you actually go into the real world and you look at some of the biggest agencies in the world that are doing hundreds of millions of dollars, they have a huge Rolodex of clients that they all nurture and work with over a long period of time, pulling cash and increasing their retainers. They do everything under the sun to provide more value to that client and make more money. And we need to start doing that on a smaller scale inside of the agencies that we're building. So look, now that you know the agency growth strategy that can literally transform your agency, what's next? Well, you're going to need to master the art of building an offer around these partners if you want to make it work. And this is why I've put together this essential offer building guide for this agency model that you should watch right here. This will take you through everything that you need to know when putting together a no-brainer offer for your clients and different partners you're trying to build. Good luck.